Three questions, three wonders. 1. Two brothers born in same day. One grows old, the other stay young. How is it that even possible? 2. A cat that's alive and dead at the same time. Seriously? 3. You marvel, thousands of miles away, somehow feel it the exact moment your heart gets heavy. Is that pull just a feeling? Modern science has only just discovered the answer to these three questions, but Quran hinted at them all 1400 years ago. How? Stay till the end with this video and find it. The miraculous truth of quantum physics in the light of the Quran. Quantum physics, theoretical models and explanation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just stop for a moment. Look at the smartphone in your hand right now. The light from that screen hitting your eyes, it's being created by the dance of billions and billions of tiny particles. These particles are so small, even if you divided a single human hair into a million pieces, they would still be smaller than that. The world of these particles isn't like our everyday world. Things happen there that simply don't fit with our logic at all. For example, there an object can exist in two places at the same time. Two particles can be 1,000 light years apart and still sense each other instantly. Time itself changes with speed, with position. It's almost like the world we hear about the description of the afterlife. This world of particles feels like a hint of that miraculous afterlife, existing beyond the rules of our visible world. Scientists discovered this world only 100 years ago, and they are still sitting there amazed, because the mystery of this world remains unknown to them even now. But about 1500 years ago, in the deserts of Arabia, a book revealed to a man who had never received any formal education gave a hint of this very mystery of particles. That book? The Quran. I am Muhammad Sajid Hassan Kanbapi. Welcome to Al-Quran Key to the Modern Science English. Dear viewers, on this channel we do just one thing. We look at the modern science in the light of the verses of the Quran. And every single time we get the same answer. This book could not have been written by a human being. Today's topic, quantum physics. Hearing this, you might be thinking, that sounds really hard. Will I even understand it? You will, inshallah. Because today, we're going to explain difficult ideas using kitchen examples and everyday life. Just one request, watch till the end. What's the quantum physics, really? Alright, take a look around you. There's probably a cup of tea in front of you. It is sitting on the table. Even if you step away for a bit, it will still be there when you come back. That's our familiar world. The rules here are simple. An object stays in a fixed place and follows fixed laws. Mr. Newton wrote down these rules for us. But now let's go a little deeper. The teacup is made of clay. Clay is made of atoms. And do you know how many atoms you can line up side by side across the width of a single hair? About 1 million. Inside an atom are even smaller particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, and smaller still, quarks, leptons. This is the point where scientists hit a wall, because here the familiar rules simply stop working. Your teacup can be in two places at the same time. But in this incredibly tiny world, an electron can be in two places at once. Light is both a particle and a wave at the same time, together, simultaneously. The strange, mysterious world is called the quantum world. In 1900, German scientist Max Planck discovered the light's energy arrived in small packets. He named this packet quantum. The small discovery changed the history of the physics forever. If quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, you haven't understood it yet, said scientist Niels Bohr. The very creation of quantum mechanics is one who rebuilt the Quran. In front of that verse, just stop for a moment. Steady yourself. This verse we are about to approach isn't meant to just be read. It's meant to be felt.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. يدبر الأمر من السماء إلى الأرض ثم يعرج إليه في يوم كان مقداره ألف سنة مما تعدون.
He governs all affairs from the heavens to the earth. Then it rises up to him in a day, the measure of which is 1,000 years by your reckoning. Al-Quran, chapter As-Sajdah, verse 5. Now let's look closely at this verse. There are three things in it. First, governs from the heavens to the earth. There's a distance here, a journey, and a speed. Second, a day, the measure of which is 1,000 years. This points to the fact that time is different depending on the situation. Third, governs all affairs, which means the entire creation operates under one connected system. These three signs line up with the three biggest discoveries in the modern physics. 1. A hint at the speed of light, something it only became possible to measure a few hundred years ago. 2. Time is relative, something Einstein proved only in 1905. 3. The interconnectedness of creation, quantum entanglement, a discovery that earned a Nobel Prize in 2022. The first wonder, the speed of light and what this verse of the Quran points to. Light travels about 300,000 kilometers every second. How big is that number? In 1 second, light can circle the earth 7 times. In the time it takes you say 1, light has already gone around 7 times. Humans first tried to measure this speed in 1676. Scientist Ole Romer made that attempt. It took another 300 years or so to measure it precisely, and the Quran was revealed in 610 CE, about 1,000 years before even Ole Romer's first estimate. The remarkable discovery of an Egyptian scientist Dr. Mansour Hassab An-Nabi read this verse in the language of mathematics. According to the information given in the verse, a day of Allah equals 1,000 years by your count. The Quran speaks in lunar terms, as mentioned in Surah Yasin, verse 39 and 40. So this would be 1,000 lunar years. Scientists have measured and reported how many kilometers the moon travels in 1 lunar month. Dr. Mansour calculated the total distance the moon travels in 1,000 lunar years, then divided that distance by 24 hours. The result came out to 299,792 kilometers per second, and the actual speed of light is 299,792.458 kilometers per second. The math right down to the decimal places. The calculation was derived from a single verse, revealed at a time when people didn't even know that light had a speed. So where did this number come from? This isn't a coincidence. This is the word of the Lord of the all worlds, the one who created light, the one who set its speed. The second wonder, quantum entanglement. Let's understand this in a simple way. Your mother is probably in the kitchen right now. You are at the office. Suddenly, your heart feels heavy for no reason at all. You feel a tightness in your chest. At that exact moment, your phone rings. Mom on the screen. You pick up. Mom says, "What happened, son? Are you upset?" You're stunned. "Mom, how did you know?" Mom say, "I don't know. Something just told me." So how does this pull work? No signal was sent. No phone call was made. Yet mom sensed it. Science can't fully explain this feeling, but an unavailable phenomenon just like this pull-up soul exists in the quantum world too. Now let's hear the real explanation. Two tiny particles are created together in the same place. From the moment they are bound by an invisible connection. Scientists call this entanglement. To make it easier to understand, let's say these two particles are now separated. One is sent to Dhaka, the other is kept in Chittagong. The particle in Dhaka is disturbed, the particle in Chittagong instantly reacts. No time passes, not a second, not a millisecond, not even a single traveling at the speed of light could arrive that fast. Scientists have found that even if the distance between such particles is 1,000 light years, there's not the slightest delay in time. This is a proven fact. Scientists have run experiments in lab again and again, same result every single time. Hearing this, the famous scientist Einstein got upset. He said, "This simply can't be true." Called it spooky action at a distance. But science doesn't bore anyone's opinion. Science trusts proven, final results. The experimental results said Einstein was wrong. And in 2022, a Nobel Prize was awarded for research on this very subject. The connection between entanglement and the Quran. In verse 5 of chapter As-Sajdah in Quran, Allah said, "He governs all affairs from the heavens to the earth." All doesn't just mean the huge planets and stars. It means every single atom, every electron, every quantum particles. Right now in this universe, there are atoms numbering 10 followed by 80 zeros. And Allah is governing every single one of those atoms simultaneously, instantly, at the same time. And Allah Almighty confirmed the explanation of quantum entanglement within a single verse. In chapter Al-Hadid, verse 4, Allah says,
وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ.
He is with you wherever you are. Chapter Al-Hadid, verse 4. Quantum science says, once two particles are connected, their bond never breaks. And the Quran says, there is a connection just like this between Allah and His creation. And the Quran is, of course, the word of Allah. Even if you forget Him, He doesn't forget you. And that's why, when you are alone in the dark of night, hand raise it saying, Ya Allah. Do you think that call just fade into the darkness? No, the call reaches Him instantly because He is with you, unbroken, just like those quantum particles. Perhaps even through the very quantum particles, Allah Azza wa knows best. This is the miracle of the Quran. This is what makes this book unlike any other. The third wonder, what is time, really? We've learned since childhood, time is the same for everyone. Your 1 hour, my 1 hour. An hour in Dhaka, an hour in Chittagong, all the same. But that's actually not true. This is proven by time dilation. Time dilation, the stretching of time. In 1905, Einstein said, time isn't the same for everyone. As speed increases, time slows down. As gravity increases, time slows down. Let's understand this through a familiar story. Say there are twin brothers in your neighborhood, Rahim and Karim, born in the same day. Karim gets the chance to board a spacecraft. He travels through space at a speed close to the speed of light. Rahim stays behind on Earth. Rahim gets married, has children, his hair turns grey. He grows old and 50 years pass. 50 years later, Karim returns looking exactly as fresh and young as before. Because in those 50 years, Karim traveled through space at such tremendous speed that the few years Karim spent in space equal 50 years on Earth. Is this just imagination? No. This is proven in reality. Scientists flew atomic clocks on airplanes. When they came back and compared, they found the clock on the planes was running slightly behind. Time really had moved slower. And the GPS satellites your smartphone's Google Maps release on, their time runs slightly ahead of Earth's time every single day. If this distance wasn't accounted for, your map would show errors of several kilometers every day. Which means every time you use Google Maps, Einstein's theory is actively working inside your phone. Now let's turn back to the Quran. What does the Quran say? In chapter As-Sajdah, Allah said, a day the measure of which is 1,000 years. And in the 4th verse of chapter Al-Ma'arij, he said,
في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة.
A day the measure of which is 50,000 years. Chapter Al-Ma'arij, verse 4. So in one place the Quran says 1,000 years and in another place 50,000 years. Is this a contradiction? No. And the explanation for this no is the most astonishing part of all. Einstein said, there's no universal time in the universe. In every place, under every condition, the rate of time is different. The two verses of the Quran are talking about two different situations. Chapter As-Sajdah speaks from Earth's perspective, and chapter Al-Ma'arij is completely different context, the ascension of the angels. Different situations, therefore different time measures. This isn't a contradiction. It's the precision of the Quran, the precision of time dilation. Einstein discovered this truth in 1905, and the Quran had already hinted at this truth in the 7th century, at a time when people didn't even know that time could change. The 4th wonder, quantum superposition and Allah's knowledge. Let's understand quantum superposition through Schrodinger's cat example. In 1935, scientist Schrodinger carried out a strange throw-out experiment. He imagined a cat passed inside a box, along with a radioactive substance also inside the box. Now, this radioactive substance might release poison within an hour, or it might not. Both possibilities are equally likely. So without opening the box, tell me, is the cat alive or dead? Quantum science says, as long as no one is observing, the cat exist in both states at once, alive and dead simultaneously. The moment the box is opened, it settles into one definite state, either alive or dead. This is called quantum superposition. In our familiar everyday life, we understand this concept too. Your child has taken their SSC exam. The results haven't come out yet. They might have passed or they might have failed. For you, both possibilities remain open. But the exam board already has the answer sheets. They know clearly whether your son passed or failed. For them, there's no uncertainty at all. So what's the difference? It is difference in knowledge, a difference in knowing. Our we don't know is our own limitation. But Allah, He knows everything. He knows which state the quantum particles will end up in. In the Holy Quran, Allah Almighty says,
ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير.
Does he not know who created? And he is the subtle, the all-aware. Chapter Al-Mulk, verse 14. Al-Latif, he has knowledge of even the subtles of matters. Al-Khabir, every state of every particle is recording in the preserved table. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is proof of the limits of our own knowledge, not the limits of Allah's knowledge. The Quran, a pioneer of science. Let's look back for a moment. Let's do the math. Just one verse, the 5th verse of chapter As-Sajdah, and within that single verse, hints of 3 major discoveries. Let's review them once more. The speed of light. Science attempted to measure the speed of light in 1676, and the Quran had already pointed to in the 7th century. The gap about 1,000 years. The relativity of time. Einstein proved it in 1905. The Quran had already pointed to in the 7th century. The gap about 1300 years. Quantum interconnectedness. This research earned a Nobel Prize in 2022. The Quran had already pointed to it in the 7th century. The gap about 1400 years. A man who never went to school, who never received any formal worldly education in reading or writing, who had no telescope or laboratory in his hand, sitting in the 7th century Arabian desert. He said things that science could only prove 1,000 years later. Is this possible for an ordinary human being? No, never. So where did this knowledge come from? There's only one answer. Taught to him by one mighty in power. Chapter An-Najm, verse 5. When a scientist embraced faith. French scientist Maurice Bucaille conducted deep research on the Bible, the Quran, and modern science, and wrote the famous book, The Bible, the Quran, and Science. In the end, his conclusion was, there is not a single scientific statement in the Quran that conflicts with modern science. Dr. Maurice Bucaille. After that, he embraced Islam. A Western scientist reached the Quran through the path of science. We, on the other hand, were born Muslim. Shouldn't our faith be even deeper? And Allah Himself questions our faith, saying,
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن.
Do they not then deeply reflect on the Quran? Chapter Muhammad, verse 24. Dear viewers, just stop for a moment. After all this science we have just gone through, what can this science actually give in your life? It can give you knowledge. It can give you warmth. But at night, when everyone else is asleep and you are lying awake alone, carrying an unknown weight inside your chest, can quantum physics comfort you in that moment? When you are up all night because your child is sick, does Einstein's formula as the weight on your chest? No. In these moments, science falls silent. Only one thing speaks, connection with Allah. And that's exactly what Allah has told us in the Holy Quran.
ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب.
Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Chapter Ar-Ra'd, verse 28. Science fills our mind. The Quran fills our hearts. Science shows us the wonder of creation. The Quran introduces us to the Creator. And that Creator isn't just the Creator of the universe. He is your Creator. And He loves you. And that's exactly why He declares,
ونحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد.
and we are closer to him than his jugular vein. Chapter Kaf, verse 16. In quantum entanglement, there can be a distance between two particles, even 1,000 light years. But there's no distance between Allah and you. He is closer to you than your jugular vein. What greater comfort, what greater security is there in this world than that?
سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق.
We will show them our signs in the horizon and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this Quran is the truth. Al-Quran, chapter Fussilat, verse 53. The further science advances, the more the truth of Quran is being proven. We have Quran in our homes, wrapped in beautiful velvet cloth, placed neatly on a high shelf. But this Quran was revealed to the dwell in the human heart, to be understood, to be reflected upon, to be applied in life. Will we open the Quran again and look at it with deeper eyes? Will we search for the unique miracle and the ocean of knowledge that Allah Almighty has hidden in every single letter?
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
Our Lord, grant us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and shape us from the punishment of the fire. Al-Quran, chapter Al-Baqarah, verse 201.